Hi, loves. How are you doing? So, today I wanted to share a visualization that I downloaded from Source, God, Goddess, some awesome spirit guide. I don't know, but this download is great and I'm going to be using it probably for the rest of my life, honestly. So, as we begin, let's kind of talk about shadow work for a second because this discussion is kind of. It's like about shadow work, but in a way that's like really healthy. Because I think when we talk about shadow work, we can get really confused and kind of caught up in all these different realms. So the idea of shadow work is that we're working with our shadow, we're acknowledging our shadow, and we're healing and transmuting it. And so a lot of people are into shadow work these days because we've kind of realized that like, oh, okay, like there is pain and there is suffering and I want to kind of get nitty and gritty and down into it so I can really transmute it and cure it and heal it and clear it. You know, I don't want to pretend that it's not there, right? However, the shadow of shadow work is that Sarah says, hi, I did a video on this today too. Nice. So the shadow of shadow work is that we can get so involved with this shadow work that we're like, we just stew in our own pain, really. And it's not real, like, you know, helpful, accurate shadow work. It's just promoting more and more fear and calling that shadow work and just patting yourself on the back because you're not one of the people that spiritually bypasses. So let's differentiate. How do you know if you're what you're doing? So if pain comes up and if shadow comes up or if fear comes up and you're like, okay, I'm going to breathe into it. I'm going to breathe into it. But then you're breathing into it and then you're holding on to it. And you're just, as you breathe into it, you're expanding the fear and you're just kind of like letting it stay there. And you're like, okay, well, I'm breathing into it, so this is good, right? And then your mood takes a dip, and then you start to feel worse and worse. And then within an hour or something, you're just in this kind of bad place. But you're going, this is shadow work. This is the journey. And really, at the end of the day, you kind of just feel like you're stewing in your own pain or you're stewing in depression. And maybe if this lasts, like I used to do this, so this is from direct experience. Maybe, you know, then you're waking up and you're feeling kind of depressed, and these kind of depressed spaces kind of last for quite a while, but you're like, I'm doing my shadow work. I'm breathing into my pain. So breathing into my pain, but I'm going to hold on to it and analyze it and dissect it and think, where did this come from? And all these things, right? Okay, so there's that. So that's kind of the stewing in our pain version of shadow work, and that's the shadow of shadow work. So this visualization that I downloaded, and all the power, if you're there, amazing. All of us do that sometimes. That's fine. But let's like call it out for what it is, not actually very healing or helpful in the long run for any of us, right? So what can we do instead? So I downloaded this visualization, like I said at the start of this video, and Sarah, if you're still on, this is what we just did in the Eyes of ceremony. So you can breathe in and you can activate your hands of light, okay? These are golden hands, okay? And on your breath, your in-breath, you're breathing in your golden hands in through the inhale, and you're going into anywhere that feels painful or challenging or stuck for you, and you're breathing all the way down into that with your hands of light. And then you allow on the exhale your hands of light to literally take, it's like you're taking soil, like imagine the shadow pain is like soil or material that you can actually grasp with your hands of golden light. You're bringing it up through the exhale, and in the exhale you're releasing it and giving it over to the divine and fully surrendering it. Okay, because here's the key thing, that we're not going to, the only thing that can transmute is source energy, is pure source energy and pure unconditional love. That is the only frequency in the entire universe that can transmute, is the frequency of unconditional love, the crystal diamond focused frequency of source energy. So if we're trying to compartmentalize and analyze and transmute through, and by transmute I mean taking fear and turning it into love or a similar process, if we're trying to do that with our minds or with our thought power or with our, you know, rituals or moving one, you know, chakra point and breathing in this tone and then changing the tone and then seeing it whirl around in different colors. I mean, we can literally let go of all of that. Some of that sure can be helpful sometimes in certain situations, you know, visualizations and things like this. But the essence of it is, it's not our job. It's not our job to, you know, as our small selves to create, you know, the shifts and to transmute this pain. It's Source's job. It's unconditional love's job. So, but we have to go get it. We have to go in. Laura's here. Hi, love. We have to go in and actually grab onto, you know, that pain. So this is why a lot of people, you know, are into shadow work, because they don't want to bypass, right? And the idea of bypassing is that we don't actually look at our pain, we don't feel our pain, we don't acknowledge our shadows, and we just go live in la la land and go, oh, it's all love, it's all love. But it's not an anchored, embodied understanding of it's all love. It's like a cut off kind of, yeah, it's all love, but don't show me that, don't show me that, because it's all love. It's like, you know, I think we're all familiar with what that feels like. We can do it ourselves, we can see it in friends, we can see it on the internet, blah 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 blah, right? So we do want to acknowledge that pain and that darkness and that fear, or whatever that is. Not darkness, because darkness is the best. But we literally take our hands and we're going, okay, I'll go get it. The spirit just needs us to go get it. You know, spirit's like, okay, I'll transmute it. I'll clear it for you. Absolutely, for sure. That's my job. But you need to go get it. You know, like you need to let me in so I can go get it and deal with it. So that's why we activate the hands of golden light. On the inhale, we see these golden hands, or maybe white hands, lit up. On the breath, grabbing that fear, and then we're bringing those hands up and out on the exhale and giving it over. And for me, a lot of my fear right now is in my root chakra. A lot of our fear and the collective fear is in the root chakra, because that's the chakra that's the most dense, right, and carries that that energy sometimes in its shadow place. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Let's do 2 breath cycles together of the golden hands going in wherever you feel pain, letting your golden hands take it, bring it up and out on the exhale, and releasing it over to spirit and making it very clear. Spirit, source energy, God, goddess, I fully and completely give this to you. Thank you for handling it from here. So let's do 2 cycles together, okay? Inhaling. And one more. Okay. And you can bring yourself back. We just did 2 rounds of breath, but you could easily sit for 10 or 20 minutes if you wanted to, just doing that. And the idea, but with this shadow work, is that the focus remains on the golden hands of light and the surrender to source energy while we dig and we allow and bring it up. So the focus always remains with the light and the joy and what's real as much as possible. And we just so happen to be bringing that kind of like shadow material up, and you can just think about it as soil, right? And what I was talking about before is when we try to do shadow work and we kind of get lost in it, but we make the focus the shadow. The shadow should never be the focus. With true shadow work, if you're actually doing it from a healing perspective, the shadow is never the focus. The light and unconditional love is always the focus, and that's what moves the shadow and brings it back to source energy to be transmuted across all time, dimension, space, reality, to remember itself into wholeness, okay? So this requires us to up our trust and to up our commitment to know ourselves as love, to know the universe as unconditional love, and that's a whole journey within and of itself. But this visualization is a gift for you that came through me that I would love for you to practice if you feel resonant. So if I share this video outside of the Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon, where I'm sharing it right now, you can come if you want more free content like this, or if you want to keep connected to me and be a part of an amazing group of sisters. You can join our private Facebook group, Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon, and you can head to www.tinyurl.com/mermaidmoon to join us, and likely I will leave some links wherever you're finding this if the container is allowing me to place links around it. So yeah, hop on over to our Facebook group if you're not already a part of it, and so much love, many blessings, and may you always know yourself as unconditional love. May we all know ourselves as unconditional love. May all beings know themselves as love. May all beings know themselves as free. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are.